Hello,
I am
wrestling
the
fan.
Alpha.
Why have you been going down on your grandma?
I thought Layla died.
Be a rose
I'm the scum of the
My
earth.
name is Coach.
Guy looks like a pedophile.
It's blue.
Willow. Okay.
He played keep away with his glasses.
Literally driving us mad. Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to the first ever edition of the Suplah Bite Size. I am Andy Kwan, and with me as always is Liam Dunn.
Yes, it is our very first edition of the Suplah Bite Size. For those who are mildly confused as to what this show is, as you know, the show happens every 2 weeks. And what this show is going to be is it's going to fill the void in between those 2 weeks on Thursdays. And basically, it's going to be a half-hour show, half the length of the normal Suplah. And it's going to talk about the main headlines of that particular week. And then in this first episode's case, we're going to be talking about the death of Sean O'Haire. It broke last night. However, before we get on to that, I just want to explain some stuff really quickly about this show, if that's alright with you, Andrew.
Hello.
Basically, the Suplah Bite Size, after this episode, this is going to be on YouTube, it's going to be everywhere, but after this episode, the Suplah Bite Size will become the very first website exclusive show. It's going to be on Suplah.com. Remember that. Suplah. S-U-P-L-A-H. I think that's how our show's spelled, isn't it?
I do believe so, yes.
.com. That's a full stop. C-O-M. And then you bookmark that shit, and you'll be able to get this in between the weeks of the Suplah. It will be on our website exclusively, and it might also be on iTunes. So there you go.
Who knows? Do both.
That's the website plug. That's the website plugged. I've done my bit.
And also, the show doesn't cost metal. Metal. Coal. Metal.
I just love the way JBL says the word Michael.
Metal.
Sounds like a dog barking or something.
Metal. 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 I'm not even saying Michael, I'm just saying Mer. That's basically all I'm saying at this point.
Right,
I
anyway.
have stocks. My favourite basketball player of all time is Michael Jordan.
Right.
My favourite
Oh my god.
musician of all time is Michael Jackson.
Okay, right. You're killing the
best wrestler
joke.
of all time is Shawn Michael.
You're killing the joke. Alright. Anyway, so...
No, I won't kill this joke. Beautiful.
Right. So, obviously, as I said at the very beginning, this episode, we're going to... The premiere episode, because that's what Raw kept going on about on Monday. Premiere season premiere, whatever. I don't even get what that meant, but whatever. That's for the Raw review.
They don't have seasons. They have stuff all year.
That's exactly. That's why it doesn't make sense. But that's for the Raw review. That's for the Raw review to tackle, not us. That's the Raw review.
No.
We're here to talk, of course, about the passing of Sean O'Haire. Now, I'll be honest. Sean O'Haire was a little bit before my time. I got into pro wrestling sort of in 2002. So that was about 12 years ago. And...
Sad I get into it.
Anyway.
You're telling me to shush?
When I got into it, Sean O'Haire wasn't around until around 2003. And then in 2003, he had this gimmick that I wasn't even entirely sure what it was. But all I knew was that he was teamed with Roddy Piper for like 2 months, and then I never saw him again. And that was it.
Well, I can give you more information, Liam, because the former WCW and WWE star has passed away at his home at the age of 43 years old. And the cause of death has not been released, as of when we are recording this, to the public. Sean O'Haire is perhaps best known for his run in the final months of WCW after he came up through their power plant training facility. He was one of several younger stars to be brought into WWE after they purchased WCW, and was involved in the infamous Invasion angle with partner Chuck Palumbo as the WCW Tag Team Champions. After a short feud with The Undertaker and Kane, he was sent back to OVW before returning to the main roster, as Liam has said, in 2003, with a devil's advocate gimmick, where he would manipulate wrestlers and encourage people to bring out their darker side. Many fans will look back at his final run as a missed opportunity. He had a great look and mic abilities, however, a motorcycle accident was the reason why he was dropped from the company. Following the WWE, he spent a few years in Japan and on the Indies, and even tried his hand at kickboxing and MMA. but it seemed like he began to struggle with his personal issues as he racked up a hefty list of arrests for fighting, assaults, and domestic abuse.
Really, I mean, let's be honest, okay? This isn't an offence to Sean O'Haire, but this death is pretty stereotypical of what we hear now when a pro wrestler dies at a young age. 43 is not an old age at all.
No.
So, when somebody dies that young, I mean, think about it. Who else is 43? Chris Jericho.
Yes, sorry, I was actually trying to think and I had no idea.
Yeah, you derped for a second. But Chris Jericho is 43. Chris Jericho is 43, and you couldn't imagine him dropping dead. So there's one of two things, or it could be a combination of both, but it seems like it's a stereotypical pro wrestling death in that it's a young death and he seemed to spiral out of control towards the end of it. Now what it could have been an accidental death, much like Test was. He took too many sleeping pills. It was thought it could have been accidental, could have been a suicide. That's that's not uncommon. Really, let's be honest, a lot of wrestlers, when they tailspin out of control, they commit suicide. Or it could just genuinely be some sort of drug addiction that he had that caught up and bit him in the arse, much like Eddie Guerrero in a way.
I mean, I don't think... I mean, the death is obviously sad and all that, but I think what we need to really be talking about is the fact that a lot of people believe that his final run was a missed opportunity, and like if that has a contributing factor to the way he behaved, and then obviously his death, that can't be good for anyone. I mean, people like Arn Anderson have said the likes of like Dolph Ziggler should kind of have a bigger role in the WWE, because he said in the post in Korea that politics may be keeping him down. Arn Anderson believes that Dolph Ziggler gives everything he's got, and he does some really phenomenal athletic stuff. What goes on behind the scenes as far as politics and all that, I try to stay away from. I just do the bell stuff because it's way above my pay grade. Shawn Michaels was around for a long time before they cut him out and put him in the singles spotlight. Shawn and Mai Janay must have got fired 5 times from everywhere, and what Arn Anderson is hoping is, not necessarily through attrition, but through a lack of other guys being able to be produced, that Dolph will get a second look and a separate setting. And then maybe he'll get a chance. And it's kind of like the same as Sean O'Haire in a way. There are an enormous number of people that they've wasted, that are extremely talented. Clearly, I've never been in the ring in my life. I don't plan on doing it in my life. But just, you know, on a entertaining factor and looking at it that way, why isn't this guy being pushed?
Yes. I agree. The only thing is that when you look at this sort of segment that he did on Raw this past week, I mean, that's not necessarily Ziggler's fault. It could be just that he was given really fucking terrible material.
You can only work with shit if you're given shit.
But the problem is, they're giving him shit. And that's what's concerning. Like, maybe they knew it was crap. I mean, let's be honest. The entire segment was just so... Like, for those who didn't see, and I'm kind of stepping on Raw Review's toes here, but the segment was Dolph Ziggler is making fun of The Miz, and he then links it back to the whole celebrity nudes being leaked. And then he's like, oh, I got some of The Miz. And then it's just these really awkward pictures, like, of The Miz shaving his chest. And apparently that's embarrassing. Now,
I mean, the idea is a good idea. Because anything that you can make wrestling seem relevant is a good thing.
No,
but
yeah,
like,
but it wasn't a good thing.
But the hokiness of it, it's just like...
No, but I don't even think it was a good idea. I think there's something more common that they could lean on that would make it better than going on about celebrity nudes. Because it's a PG era, and yet the most risque thing they can do is what? The Miz shaving his chest? Or, oh, no, wait. Damien Sandow giving him a spray tan and they blur out his ass. I'm not saying I want to see the Miz's ass. I'm not saying that. Don't take my words out of context, guys. Alright? I'm not gay, yeah? But...
Wow, that... No one was thinking that, Liam. I'm just saying. You would like... It's just like someone just talking about cheese or something and like, so what's your favourite kind of cheese? Well, mine is Wensleydale. Mine is Zindam. Mine is cheddar. Mine is... I'm not gay! What? Where did that come from? No one suggested you were. Where did the fucking... What? Like, I don't know. We're talking about Dolph Ziggler. What the fuck?
Well, I'm just saying, like, they blurred out the Miz's ass. Like, that's not exactly linking it to the nudes that were released and things that... Why? Like, it was such a pointless segment.
Yeah, well... This is WWE right now, really, isn't it? Everything is pointless.
Everything does seem to be pointless, but we're going slightly off topic. We're talking more about sort of people being underappreciated in a way. And I've always thought, linking on with the whole Dolph Ziggler thing, I always thought for me, someone I think that was underappreciated... Okay, his mic skills weren't the top notch, I'll be honest. But I always thought that Shelton Benjamin was always...
Yeah, really good.
Always underappreciated. And it's a pity, because in 2004, or 2005, something like that, it almost looked like he was going to be a breakout star. Because you got to remember, back in this time...
Is that when he beat Triple H?
I was going to say, because you got to remember, back in this time, during that period, Triple H was in the reign of terror, where literally he would beat everybody. No one could beat Triple H. He was a top dog, and he wouldn't job to a single person. And then suddenly, Shelton Benjamin, who was only part of Team Angle at that point, or I think it was a World's Greatest Tag Team. Nevertheless, he wasn't a major star, and he got drafted from SmackDown to Raw, and I think he was the first person, and nobody really registered it until they did a segment between Shelton Benjamin and Triple H, and then they did a match, and you thought, fucking hell, here we go, great, and then fucking Shelton Benjamin wins, not once, but I think it was like 2 or 3 times in a row.
I think it was twice.
Oh, was it twice? Nevertheless...
Buried!
Yeah, but nevertheless, I mean, that we all thought, fuck, this is going to be it. And it kind of was... It's a bit shorter lived than Dolph Ziggler, because Dolph Ziggler actually won the World Heavyweight title, which meant something. Well, actually, to be fair, it never meant something up until about 2000. Since about 2009, it's meant fuck all, that belt. But nevertheless, he won it. But... It's a pity, because I always thought Shelton Benjamin was really good on the mic. He was crap as a heel. He actually was he was one of those natural baby faces. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they turned him into the gold standard, I was like, they're losing it now. They are genuinely... Oh no, it wasn't the gold standard. It's when they introduced his mum. That's when they lost it.
Because that's worked so well for people like Buff Bagwell.
That was fucking... Literally, what did they think? Okay, he's not the best talker, but did they really think it would be suitable to make a fat black woman his manager and then call her his mum? Like, who wrote that shit? Who literally sat there and thought Shelton Benjamin needs a manager? Let's get his mum in, who wasn't even his fucking mum. Literally, one of the worst ideas ever. And this is the problem, though. You get great workers, but then it's creative who has to give them a direction. And if they can't give them a direction, if whoever's writing their character literally does not know what the fuck to do with anything, then they lose it. And it's a pity, because then we lose talent like Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah. I mean, there was a guy in TNA, who I don't know if you remember, Liam, but he went by the name of Monty Brown.
Oh, Monty Brown, yes.
How awesome was that guy?
Monty Brown was brilliant.
Bad! He was so good.
He was
fucking good.
He was.
Right, I remember there's a segment, and I can't remember what event it was, but it was like TNA put on a live event, and when their pyro went off, they set fire to the Impact Zone because they're idiots.
Like normal, like fucking normal.
So this is during a pay-per-view, so like they had to kind of keep the pay-per-view on and like kind of talk them outside, and then like they had to have interviews with people just to fill up the time. So they brought in Monty Brown, and the fucking promo is one of the greatest things I've ever heard in my life. He starts singing, he's doing dancing, I don't know what the fuck, he's just fucking brilliant. And it's the greatest thing I've ever heard. It's brilliant. What happened to this guy was he went to WWE and they fucked him up by giving him some kind of soul music or some kind of shit. It's like
But what was his name,
like,
Andy? What was his name?
Marcus Corvon.
Fucking Marcus Corvon.
Wow, it sounds like some kind of meal. Like, I would like to eat Marcus Corvon, please. Like, no, that's not
Fucking
that's not a
Marcus.
fucking name for anyone ever.
Fucking Marcus
No one.
Corvon. So it's this big black guy whose finisher is the pounce, and they call him Marcus fucking Corvon. That's something I would expect with some sort of like fucking Nazi gimmick, not fucking some big black guy.
It's just, I didn't understand any of this shit. It was just like, why in the fuck? And it doesn't help that, like, now they brought in part-timers.
No, but we've always said that. Ever since The Rock came back, we've always said that part-timers was going to kind of shit on this whole thing. And in a way, like, you see how CM Punk's walked out because Batista returned. That worked out really fucking well, didn't it?
Yep, that was... People will love Batista. No, they won't. They will hate Batista. They love Batista. Wait, I'm Dixie. Why am I in WWE?
Why are you turning into Golem Dixie here?
I don't know.
This doesn't even make sense. You're not even in the right company. You're not even in the right company. But nevertheless, it doesn't help with part-timers. And okay, I get it. Brock Lesnar being the WWE champion, that's a big deal, because don't forget, UFC clearly is still on the rise. It's still getting popular by the day. And Brock Lesnar, big deal in UFC, in the whole MMA world. He goes to WWE and he wins their belt. I understand WWE scripted, okay, I get it, but it's still a big deal. However, the guy has 3 fucking matches a year.
Yeah,
now,
it's not good.
And the problem with that, though, is that I've seen people like Jim Ross saying, "Oh, I think that's great." I'm like, what? But I read on and he goes, "I think it's great because now it means that title matches are going to be more, what is it? It's going to be more selective. Like, it's not going to be every month." Okay, I get that, Jim Ross. It's going to be more like the good old days of the territory system. I get that. But the problem
there's a reason why they don't exist anymore.
But the problem with that is when you're doing fucking 500 shows a year, you can't have 3 title matches. You just can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
It's just, it doesn't make... JR is a shithead. Everything he says now has made me hate him. He's just like, wrestlers should stop punching with closed fists. Because people don't know how to sell a damn punch. I'm JR Bago.
Wait, hang on. JR.
Down there, stop.
Wait, stop. JR is criticising people not being able to take a bump here. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes. This fucking...
Sorry, just
my asshole.
Slightly off topic. Slightly off topic. But did I ever tell you the story of what my first impressions were when I first saw Jim Ross on TV? Did I ever tell anyone?
No, I don't like where this is heading. He has Bell's palsy. Please don't.
Yeah, but I didn't know this at the time.
Oh no, don't. Please don't.
When I first saw...
for like a week. Don't say something bad,
When
please.
I first saw Jim Ross
No.
on TV and he was commentating, you know how he sits next to Jerry Lawler and he's commentating?
No.
I genuinely thought he was a really shit mime.
No.
I kept saying to myself, God, this guy, he can't fucking lip sync.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Literally, you just go like I couldn't understand how he was forming words, like proper words, and yet his mouth was barely open. And I always thought, why don't they get the screen off him? Because he's the worst lip syncer in the world.
Stop! Just stop!
That was my first impression. I thought he was shit at lip syncing.
Oh my God, you can't say these things.
But it's true. I'm just saying that was my very first impression.
Just say no. Don't just say. Just don't say. Just don't say anything.
But I'm just saying.
No, shut up.
I just thought, fuck, he's shit at lip syncing. Get the camera off him.
Not.
Well, I didn't know at the time.
Bother, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, but let's be honest, right? That doesn't make sense. How can he actually form proper words like what me and you are speaking and yet like this?
Stop doing that! Stop doing things!
My name's Russ and I can't open my mouth properly.
Oh my... Why are you talking like you're one of the Canadian people from fucking...
Hey, buddy.
Why, JR is not Terrence! JR is not bloody Terrence! Hello. Like, no, that's not what the.
Oh, hey, buddy. Do you want to get some craft dinner?
What?
South Park references. Watch it!
I only know those characters. That's it.
Right, anyway, nevertheless, I thought it was just a really shit mime.
Moving on. So yeah, it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't help that part-timers are there. We've done an episode about part-timers already, but like.
Yeah, but I didn't give my 2 cents on it because I wasn't here yet.
No, well, you do that. Do that now.
Well, I just said. I've always said. I've said it years ago when The Rock came back. The problem is, well, like, it doesn't make sense. Back in the territory days, the reason why you would have a championship match, every couple of months, was because that's when the territory would have a show. Like, back in those days, a promotion would only have a show once a month, at best. Now you get Raw, you get SmackDown, Main Event, fucking NXT.
It's like 6 hours of programming.
It's more than that. It's more than that. And that's just wrestling. You've got fucking Total Divas, fucking Shit the Bed, Come the Fuck.
Shit the Bed is not a program.
But I'm just saying, you get all these sort of shows. You get WWE.
And now, on WWE Network, which you can get for $9.99, Michael, WWE. Shit the Bed. That's not a TV show. That doesn't fit.
Next.
I can't imagine anyone wanting to. I don't know. There might be some people, I guess. But I'm not.
John
one of them.
Cena. I'm gonna face you at WWE.
Like,
Fuck the
like,
cunt.
Bago, that shit. It's got a bit of corn in it. Bago. What is corn not fucking digest? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Why are we talking about corn not digesting now?
Fuck is wrong with corn? Damn it, Michael.
Is that what we're talking about? Why you can't process corn?
Why can't you process corn?
I don't know. I'm not a fucking scientist. I don't look at it. I don't dig out and just go, why didn't you process? And just start asking it questions. Like that.
Because I'd rather talk about corn in a piece of shit than Jim Ross right now. That is literally a thing.
That's literally the thing, is it?
Yeah, very much. Yeah.
But I mean, it's.
Mago.
I gotta be honest. Like, I don't really remember Sean O'Hare too much. Going back to the fucking original topic now. I don't really remember Sean O'Hare that much. I actually remember him more from Here Comes the Pain, the video game.
That's weird, but okay.
But I do remember. I remember seeing his promos, and there was one thing in his promos that I actually still remember to this day. And he says, "Why do we need to go to church if God's everywhere?" And in a way, he was actually one of the most successful stars in terms of promos to me. Because
was that like a counselor type thing, and he's just like, "Hi, I'm Sean O'Hare."
No,
and he's behind a white wall.
Oh yeah. Then it was, yeah.
Talking about like.
But he has like a black trench coat on and everything.
Yeah.
And I actually think that was quite clever, and in a way, it's the most successful promo I've ever seen. Because even now, 11 years on, I still remember that.
I'm kind of. If you're saying, like, this is why, like, the Dusty Rhodes Hard Times Baby promo is so well renowned, it's still a thing that affects people today. Like, the problem with a lot of Rock's promos, when you look back at them, The Rock is awesome, like, the stuff he talks about sometimes is stuck in the 90s.
Yeah. Oh,
it's
yeah.
Like,
it's not exactly timeless.
Yeah.
It's not exactly like you look at the Austin 316 thing. That is kind of timeless.
Yeah.
But The Rock, he makes references to 90s shows or political issues in the 90s, and it doesn't really hold up as well today. That's not a knock at The Rock. His whole thing seems to be about pop culture. I get that, and he was great. He was great on the mic.
I'm not talking about like his older stuff. I'm talking about like when he came back. Because when he came back, he was just like.
Yeah, but even his older stuff, it was very similar to that.
It wasn't so bad. I mean, like now, when he first came back, he was just like, my best friend Justin Bieber, and he's just like, well, maybe in 10 years when he just goes Justin Bieber, and then like everyone's like, what? Who? Oh, that guy that was around, and then he like fucking was like,
yeah. Exactly.
I can't predict the future, can I? For fuck's sake.
But it's not timeless because it's too. It's like you look at these films from the 90s and they all have 90s references where they go like, dude, that's so rad. It's like, it's stuck in its own sort of little time portal.
Yeah.
And going back to Sean O'Hare, like, those few promos that he had kind of were some of the best promos ever because, like I said, even 11 years on, like, I can barely remember some of the promos on Raw this past Monday. And yet, I'm telling you, it's the truth though. And yet, I can remember Sean O'Hare's promo from 2003, 11 years later, and he did have a good look. He looked quite menacing in his gimmick. Now
He
that you
had
told
like
me
the
what it
best
was,
one-ton bomb I've ever seen. It's better than Jeff Hardy.
but his
Like
gimmick,
Jeff's is just like.
yeah, but Jeff's always
whatever.
spaced out on drugs. He probably does a swanton bomb and he feels like he's fucking flying through space. He's like, I will never come down from this.
Oh shit, Willow! And that's
When
basically why-
somebody said to Jeff, "Go high," he took that a bit too literally.
Yeah, it's like we need you to jump off of high things.
Oh, high?
No, Jeff, no.
No, Jeff, not that high. Not that high. Different high. But nevertheless, right? It was a kind of a missed opportunity because now that you've told me what the gimmick was, I was 13. I didn't fucking get it. I was like, what the fuck is this going on about? But the idea of him being like that is actually quite an interesting gimmick.
Mm.
It's more interesting than whatever the fuck's Damien Sandow's doing now.
Why is he like the
bitch? He's
Stop.
Mrs. Bitch. He's Alex Riley. I mean, that is not a good position to be in, Damien. You're Alex Riley. What's happened to Alex Riley? And if anybody says, "Oh, he's a commentator," he's a commentator on NXT, that doesn't fucking count. Okay, what the fuck is he doing?
Say it to my face.
Say it to my face. No, Alex.
Why did they
No,
give such a
Alex.
long song to a dickhead? Why? Why would you waste that?
Say it to
That
my
thing makes
face.
all right.
And he was only there for like what, 2 months?
Look at my briefcase. Like why?
Say what to your face, Alex Riley? That you're gonna fucking be here for a while? No, that's clearly not fucking true.
Why? They just give the most awesome themes to shit people. Like, over the years, they've done that. Like, every fucking person. And, like, Seth Rollins' theme sounds like AIDS. It just...
Cesaro's theme, fucking Jesus. That's not a song, that's noise. It's literally just noise. It's as if Jim Johnson was just like... I need to come up with something for Cesaro.
Blah, blah!
Wait a minute. I really need the toilet. Oh, that's a fucking good sound, that is.
Like, what's happened to that guy? Like, this is the same guy that came up with Break the Walls Down, and now...
Glass Shatters, fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme, one of the greatest wrestling theme songs of all time, literally just recorded his shits in a toilet and gave that to Cesaro. That's what he did. He went into the toilet with a microphone. There you go. Here we are. That's what it is. That's what it is. But we should probably start wrapping this episode up.
Yes.
I think it was quite a successful first episode for the Suplah Bite Size. So before we go, just once again, this will be on YouTube. It will be on Wrestling Truth. I think no, not that website. That website doesn't exist anymore. You can tell I've been gone for a while. Wrestling Pundit, it might be on there. I'm not sure. We'll have to speak to Keelan.
Wrestling Pundit, Michael.
It's going to be everywhere, but with the second episode of the Bite Size, it's going to be exclusive to Suplah.com.
Michael.
Macca.
Michael. Why does he speak like that?
He speaks like a fucking idiot.
Like
he speaks like someone who's...
He's like, we fight on Friday night, Michael.
He sounds like he's got Down syndromes and then he's had a stroke. Macca.
Wow.
And I think on that note, we should probably end.
Yep. So,
Right.
I have been Michael, and we will see you
Next week on the
Yes.
Suplah.